Here we go.
Here we go.
How y'all doing today?
Good, how are you? How's it feel to be back?
I feel excellent. Right back at home. Feel like I feel like I got out of bed this morning, went to school, came back, and my bed's still messy, and I can get right back in it.
How did this all work out? Did they just call you like on Monday or whatever? Or
Yeah, that's usually how it happens. You know, you usually sitting at home, not doing too much, usually messing around with the kids or something like that. Playing the father role, you know what I mean, doing what I do. And all of a sudden I got that call, you know, and I was waiting to play some football, staying active and stuff. You get a lot of exercise picking those kids up throughout the day, I tell you. So at the end of the day, they gave me that call, man, and I was ecstatic, just simply. That was one of those calls I had been waiting for. You know, of course, we tried to get a few things done before the season, but it didn't work out like we wanted. But fortunately for me, fortunately for everybody, you know, we was able to get it done, and that's all that matters.
you were in talks with the Seahawks before the season about coming back?
Of course. I mean, that's always been one of my goals, to get back to Seattle at some point in my career. You know, even going through my first stint here, you know, I wanted to be here for the rest of my career. You know, you have dreams growing up as a kid, you know, playing sports. I'm like, man, I want to be one of those guys that play for one team my whole career. And, you know, do that and retire a Seahawks, just one team. And, you know, unfortunately, that didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen. You know what I mean? You learn life lessons through this stuff. And, you know, I was able to go off to, you know, other places and, you know, help those teams and do some great things. And you gain experiences with it. And I came back year 9 with full experiences. And, you know, I'm just ready to help this team take it to another level.
In what ways are you a better player or different player since you left?
I say it's more mental than the physical part. You know, the physical and the technicality of the game doesn't really change once you develop those tools. So it's more the mental part. I feel like I was a little bit more immature about 4 or 5 years ago. There was a lot of things about the game that I didn't really understand. I still got guys like Mike Bennett, Cliff. They still text me to this day, even before I was signed back. You know, they still was texting me like, yo, you need to do this better. I had Mike text me like, you know, you sucked this game. Yeah, so it was a lot of stuff. You know, they was always, once my vets, always my vets. Once the OGs, always the OGs. And, you know, like I say it all the time, you know, they've been you know, one of the largest and, you know, biggest support systems that I've had, you know, in my career.
Rick, what do you think it is about this place that makes people want to come back? You're not the first person to say, like, I want to get back to Seattle.
I feel like it's just very special, and that starts up top. You know, it starts with Coach Carroll, you know, and the job that he does with his players. You know, he allows you to be you. You know, it starts with football first, obviously. You know, if you're playing football, if you're doing your job, you know, you've been up early, on time, never late, you know, he ain't going to bother you too much, you know, but that's where it starts. And I feel like Coach Carroll just, you know, his infectious personality. You know, he's around here. Like I said, I made a joke to him. I'm like, you moving faster than everybody in the building, Coach, still. You know what I mean? He's like, hell yeah. You know, then he proceeds to throw, you know, like 4 or 5 footballs in the basket from like 40 feet out. And I'm like, you know, I'm looking at him like, yeah, he still got it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's him, you know, and I'm sure other players will say the same thing, you know, and the city as well. You know, it's nobody like the 12s. You know, you can go anywhere. You can go far or wide, wherever you want to go. You know, you ain't going to find no other city like the 12s cheering for you in the stands.
I was talking yesterday about the friendship you guys have that, you know, goes back to your days here. Just how excited are you to play with him again in the Seahawks uniform?
Oh, man. You know, Jarran, my dog, that's one of my best friends. Since the day he came into the league, we met each other in the locker room. Very excited. You know, he's having a great season so far. Just really, I'm been very happy just watching him get back to himself, you know, this year. And, you know, you could say him being back in Seattle has a large, you know, reason for that. It's a big reason for that. But I just feel like he's just getting back comfortable and getting in that mode. And I feel like that's something that we all want to do. You know what I mean? Even myself, you know, I want to get back into that mode, back into that comfort zone of just doing what I do, having my hand in the dirt, rushing the passer, setting the edge.
How confident are you? You said that you've been working out. It's a slightly different scheme, I think, from the last time you were here. How confident are you that you're ready to go for Sunday?
I'm very confident, but at the end of the day, you know, my confidence comes from, you know, having confidence in my coaches as well. And, you know, honestly, I talked to Coach, 2 days ago, I believe it was. This Thursday here today. Yeah, I talked to them Tuesday, and they was basically just giving me the rundown on everything, and I was like, yeah, I want to play. You know, he asked me, like, you want to play this weekend? I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't I? Football is football at the end of the day. Playbooks change, teams may change, but, the calls and different techniques and the things that you have to do to get the job done, that necessarily don't change as much.
Is that like your friends in Kansas City were also trying to recruit you to come back there? How did those conversations develop, and was that a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, Kansas City, it was a host of other teams. Honestly, the main thing that comes into factor, I'm a big family guy. I got kids and stuff like that. I got 3 kids. The last thing I want to do is just have my kids having to make new relationships, build new foundations, do all of this stuff and start from the beginning. I'm not big into learning new playbooks and stuff like that as well. I feel like over the last, 9 years, it's been about, I've had different coordinators here, 2 different coordinators in Seattle. I had 1 coordinator in Kansas and 1 coordinator in the Broncos. That's like 4 different playbooks. I'm cool, you know what I'm saying? I think at that point, that's 4 different playbooks, 9 years. I'm like, I did enough. And that's on the bottom half of how many, how guys move around in this league. But for me, I like to, if you know me as a player, if you give me one task and you allow me to focus and lock in on it, we're going to get the job done more than likely.
You mentioned it when you were here the first time, but now that you've been away and you're older and like you said, you have your own kids, what has Pete Carroll meant to your development as a person?
It started here, so a lot of the things that I learned just as a young player coming out as a rookie, it came from here. It was instilled here, if that makes sense. You don't go 4 or 5 years and say, oh, well, it finally clicked. You know what I'm saying? I kind of, everything that I was taught, everything 9 years later in my career, it all started day one in Seattle, just with the foundation that was being built. I was talking to a few of my guys, and I said, I thank God that I had Cliff Averill, Mike Bennett, Richard Sherman, Cam, Earl Thomas, Brandon Mebane, Bruce Irvin. I can go on and on. I thank God I had that type of group, because the chances of a guy coming in as a rookie and having those type of leaders in front of you where you're able to learn from some of the top guys you can learn from, and you're able to learn from the other side as well. For some guys you probably shouldn't have learned from, but you got this balance, and I feel like that's what they had back in the day. It was a clear balance, and I feel like I learned from those type of guys, and I learned from the best you can learn from, and I carried that on throughout my career, and I was able to just spread that, the word, basically throughout the league and what I've learned.
You got the big contract after the trade, then you won, a world championship, made the Pro Bowls, and now you're back where you said you wanted to be all along. Is this kind of like the best of all worlds scenario?
I think it is. I think what makes it even more, the cherry on top would be to win one year. Honestly, that's my goal. I said it. I was going on like year 4. After year 4, after year 3, when we lost in the playoffs. I think it was the Dallas, and I was going to that was year 4. Year 3, we didn't go to the playoffs. Year 4, we lost to Dallas, and I started thinking about, like, am I going to ever be successful in the league? That's when I started questioning it. I was like, damn, I'm going on my year 5. I've never sniffed a playoff win. Basically, I never really got close to winning the Super Bowl. I never won a major championship my whole life up until me winning the Super Bowl. So I was just sitting there like, damn, is it worth it? Like, is all of this worth it? I'm getting surgeries and shit. I'm tired of getting surgeries. Like, I want to see the glory of it. I want to see it. And, like, I felt like I was putting the work in. I just never had clicked, And then, of course, the contract comes up. I wanted to be here, but, you got situations, the business part. Eventually, I ended up in Kansas, and Lord behold, that year I won the championship. So you never know how this life gonna go, And, me just being able to go on that journey, it's a journey. And I'm thankful for it. Me being able to go on that journey and come back to this place, it just holds a special place in my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thankful to be here.
What was the time in Denver like in playing with Russell again?
It was dope, man. Just being able to reconnect with Russ out there. Honestly, I know I joke a lot. I say a lot of stuff on Twitter. That's just me. Some people don't understand it yet. Y'all always understood it. I always loved Russ, though, and just being able to reconnect with Russ, and just talk to him. We had a few great conversations while he was out there. And the one thing he just always, if you know Russ, he can always tell you, hold your faith, man. Keep God first, hold your faith. And that's something you need to hear a few times in life, because you're going to go through battles. You're going to go through those times where, you got doubt. You have, everybody in your ear, positive or negative. But you just hear those words echo from Russ. I hear him echo like, yo, just keep your faith, dog. Hold your head high. You're going to be all right. You are who you are. Remember who you are. That's one thing he told me. You know, remember who you are. And that's one thing I told him before I left. You know, I'm like, remember who you are. You know what I mean? Because you still the show, bro. You know, that was my time in Denver.
Plan on Sunday?
Hell yeah. You know I do. I got to wear them throwbacks. I got to wear the throwbacks. I'm not, hey, come on now. I told Coach Carroll, I said, look, Coach, I got to wear that green. I ain't never seen that now. Y'all ain't bring the throwbacks out when I was here. We was wearing lime green and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got to throw that throwback on with it. Come on now. That's going to look real good on Sunday, bro.
Draymond wouldn't give a 55?
Oh, man, you know how it goes. So how that go, I had DM'd him like, yo, bro, what you want for the 55? I know how this goes. It's 2023. You know, these new age kids, they want all this money for their numbers. So I'm like, I ain't getting no response back. So that tell you already what his answer is. So it looked like I might be rocking 57 this year. But nah, honestly, you know how the rules go, bro. Once you start the season with a number, you got to keep it. Basically, that's how it is. Would I want 55? Of course. But 57, I can live with 57. I wore it in college for 4 years. So we're just going to go back at it that way, you know.
All right, anything else? Thanks, sir.
Fair.
I appreciate that,
Thank you.
man. Thank you.